Darkcast Network. Out of the shadows comes the best of indie podcasts.
Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name is Josh.
And I'm Jake.
And on today's episode, what are we going to be discussing?
We are discussing 2023's No One Will Save You, directed by Brian Duffield.
This is a Hulu movie, I think. Was it straight to Hulu or was it just available on Hulu?
I've only seen it on Hulu.
Yeah, so it's available on Hulu. So if you guys have not seen this movie yet, do us a favor, pause this episode, go to your Hulu account, put this on. It's worth a watch, and then you can enjoy our content on it. Now, before we get super into this episode, Mr. Divine, what would you like to let all the J Squared Horror Podcast fans know?
Well, as always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Pretty, please.
You also find us on Spotify.
We're on there.
We're on Apple.
Yep.
As well as Google.
As far as we know.
Also, well, for sure, we're on Instagram.
Yeah. Yes.
J Squared Horror Podcast. Linktree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every single Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and bring you the most original horror podcast out there. The reason we consider ourselves the most original horror podcast out there is because we bring content like no other. We like to include guests. We like to include ideas. We like to include fan-requested episodes. And also just bring a comedic and fun approach to all things horror. Not every episode is funny, but we do try to bring our own little style and flair to horror content. We do not just go through movies. We are not an information-based podcast. We are a communication-based podcast. So if you're at all interested in being a part of the J Squared Horror Podcast, you can go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. You can request episode ideas, or you can actually request to be on the episode live and in person. Ross Goodman, CII Jones have both been on the podcast in person, and they had a blast as far as we know. So if that's at all something you're interested in, go to the website, fill out the form, email us, let us know if you want to be on it. We'll hit you with a little quiz to make sure you're not a serial killer, because as much as we like to talk about murderers, we don't want to get murdered quite yet.
Very true.
Also, what I'd like to mention, you guys hear it in the intro every single week. We are a part of the Darkcast Network. I know. It's exciting. It's super exciting. Darkcast Network is a indie podcast platform about all things dark and strange. They are more of a, what's it called? True crime type podcast network, but they included us, the J Squared Horror Podcast, in there. So we want to give a big shout out to those guys. They have amazing podcasts on their platform. Go check them out when you're not listening to us. Obviously, we only release an episode a week, so if you're not caught up, you can easily go check those guys out. They're awesome. Also, super funny moment. We actually shared a funny video over the weekend on our Instagram of us slow dancing, and I just want to clarify, me and Jake are not a couple as much as you guys would want us to be. We are just best friends. So let's go ahead and clear the air now on the microphones. I can slow dance with my best friend, and it's cool. But it was awesome that they reached out and they commented on our post. Huge shout out to you guys over there at Darkcast Network. Now, No One Will Save You. Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
No One Will Save You. Hulu. Go check it out. Like we already mentioned, if you haven't seen it yet, pause. Go check it out. This is going to be full and riddled with spoilers. Now, before we get super into the podcast, Jake, how was your last 2 weeks? I mean, we missed last week because we had a lot of events going on. But how was your holiday weekend? How was the events? How are you feeling, man?
It was good. I enjoyed it. The invention, I said invention like it was a convention event.
The inventions.
The trivia.
Yeah.
And the events were fun.
Yeah.
It was good doing them. It's been a while.
It has.
So that was fun.
Yeah, we had to check off the rust.
Yeah. Work's been good.
Good. Selling cars?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Other than that, just hanging out. What about you?
Yeah, man, not too bad. The events were a little much, man. You know, preparing for them, making sure we were ready. Once again, huge shout out to Pale Horse Coffee. A big shout out to Kova Coffee. Both of you guys welcomed us with open arms. We had some great events over there. To all the winners that came through, thank you so much. Mallory, you won the one at Kova. You're a big fan of the podcast, so huge shout out to you.
Congratulations.
You dressed up. You came out on Halloween night to support you guys here, and we appreciate that greatly.
She was Jason, right?
She was Jason, yes.
Great
She was
costume.
dressed up as Jason.
Great costume.
Great costume for him. Decent costume for me. Your homie that you brought, Michael Myers, respect. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Decent costume for me.
Yeah, decent. It was a lot of fun. As much as, we are podcasters, we do like getting in front of people and doing events. So we appreciate everyone who asked us to be a part of one during this holiday weekend. And just because Halloween's over does not mean we have to stop talking about horror movies.
You never have to.
Yeah, this is an all-year thing for people like us and people like our fans. So buckle in and get ready for this intense movie that we watched and we are ready to cover. Nothing, no one, nobody. What's it called?
No one will save you.
No one will save you.
Nothing, nobody.
Nothing and nobody will save you from nobody. Let's see here. Best way to describe this movie. It is an alien invasion movie. Not quite like anything you've seen before. And it's newer, it's exciting, and we're going to go ahead and talk about some aliens, I guess.
You sound thrilled.
I'm super excited to talk about this movie. I watched it last night. Jake, when did you watch it?
This morning.
Okay, good. So it's fresh in our minds.
I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning to watch this movie.
Wow. Look at you and the dedication to the pod.
You know,
Yeah.
got to be.
Gots to be ready. All right, so let's start with the obvious. What's your favorite alien horror movie of all time?
Put me on the spot.
Yeah, I had to.
One of my favorite alien horror movies of all time is The Faculty.
The Faculty. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
What about you?
I'm going to have to go with one that we have covered on the podcast, M. Night Shyamalan's Signs. Yes.
Signs is a very good movie.
Is very good.
And this movie, in certain parts, remind me of both. Actually,
Both, yeah, literally both. And
Yeah.
that's not why I asked this question, but I'm happy that you said it.
Yeah,
There are aspects of different movies throughout this movie, like any other horror movie out there. But I think that the one thing that I wasn't a fan of, and I'll just go ahead and say this now, is there wasn't much foreplay. There wasn't much build up to seeing and realizing what was going on. And for an alien movie, I feel like you miss out on a bit of the lore and the fear when you let it be known too early.
what do you mean?
You see it really early on in the movie.
See the actual alien?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like it usually doesn't happen that way. Usually there's a lot of build-up. There's a lot of foreplay going on. You know, Signs, it took until the infamous daylight scene where you see it walk through the children's birthday party.
Yeah, but I feel like if you watch the trailer for the movie, you know it's aliens.
You do, but that doesn't matter.
You want it to...
Trailers ruin shit all the time.
You want it to wait longer to actually see the alien.
Yeah. Build up a little more suspense for me in this whole them coming type thing.
I enjoyed it. Got right to it. I feel like when it comes to aliens, you don't need a lot of build-up.
You do need a little though.
Well, as far as seeing them, no.
You do.
Because it built up the chase scene, which I thought was very good.
The chase scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see it. You see its feet.
Well, yeah, something's chasing her. You got to see what's chasing her.
You don't. That's the magic of horror.
Her
movies.
running just to run. You don't know why.
You hear noises in the house and you freak out. Could be a fucking raccoon for all we know.
No one's going to go sprinting off just noises. You got to see something.
If you're home alone, yeah.
She's always home alone.
Well, yeah, she's a quirky little individual. Yeah. The one thing I will say about this movie is you don't know what the fuck is going on with this character at all.
What do you mean?
Throughout the majority of this movie, you don't know why she's the way she is. You don't understand any of the dynamic between her and the townfolk quite yet. You are trying to relate to this character, and you're trying to figure out why she is this loner or why she is this quirky little girl. Not little, she's a woman. But, you know, it's just kind of... There are parts of it where it's like you feel like you walked into a movie that already started. You're like, oh shit, this is it. This is all I got. Fuck, dude. Like, this is it.
See, I didn't get that vibe at all.
The whole movie, I got that
As
vibe.
soon as I watched it, I kind of knew. Like with the girl she's writing the note to, I figured it was either a sister or a friend that passed away.
Okay, yeah, you figured that out from the jump. How'd you figure that out from the jump?
Well, when she said, I miss you, and that she'll never forgive herself for what happened.
Yeah, it could be a person that moved away.
True. But I figured that and the fact that they put such an emphasis on the last name on the police officer's badge.
Yeah.
I figured it's not her last name.
Yeah.
It's someone close to her who she clearly fucked over after her mom spit in her face.
Well, yeah, but before that, when you just saw her talking to them outside, or when she was at the cemetery and they see them
happening at all.
No talking. But when you see them at the, I thought her dad was banging somebody else. That's what I thought from the jump.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought her dad had moved on past the dead mom that we obviously figured out about.
Okay.
And was banging somebody else already. But then she wrote a note and was like, I saw your parents. And I was like, curveball.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on anymore.
So I figured it's a friend who is either dead or she really fucked up with that she no longer talks about.
Made her move away.
Yeah.
Made her move away. I didn't think she was fucking dead.
But I think I also thought that from the way she's writing the letters, they're not letters she's mailing.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that because she had already sent out some stuff for her job. I take it. Maybe she
was writing
sews clothes,
writing in a journal. I feel like that'd be her career, selling clothes or that little
town shit,
miniature home shit she was doing.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean she's cute. She's quirky.
She is very quirky.
Very, very, very interesting character. And I like that this. I will say that I don't always need these huge wastes of time backstories. But when you're at all leading up to there being more to it, I would like it a little earlier. I would like it just a little earlier so I know what's going on and I can at least build repertoire with my here main character.
So you needed more backstory? Or
I didn't need more backstory. I needed earlier backstory in the movie. Because you do find out backstory throughout the process of this movie. But I will say things that they did well in this movie was the actual aliens. No spoiler there, ladies and gentlemen, because I told you to go watch it.
Like how they looked?
It looked fine.
Okay.
You didn't think so?
No, that's one thing I did not like about the movie.
Jesus Christ, we're not going to agree on anything.
I didn't like the look of the alien. It seemed super like...
It was like Paul, but elongated.
It seemed super generic alien look.
Yeah, what do you expect? It's fucking Alien from Alien?
Something different?
Man, you got to go with the extraterrestrial vibe. Because they're like walking around. Their feet were cool, though.
Little fingers?
Yeah, like finger toes. But then they had like super elongated hands and shit.
Their feet
that's what reminds you of Signs. Like the alien, sort of. But also it reminds you of Paul, but like a stretched out Paul.
Yeah.
It was, it's your, super big eyeballs, big head, alien body.
Yeah, super
skinny.
At first, I didn't know
weird noises.
What time the movie was happening. If it was modern day, if it was like
you're talking
70s.
Like, when this movie came out, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it seemed weird because like her phone was super old. Her house looked super old.
But then she's driving like a 2009 Subaru Outback.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so it's modern day then.
I would say this is a modern day movie.
Because I thought older phone, older looking clothes at first.
Yeah, she's just quirky.
That whole 60s, 70s vibe of people alien would look like.
Very true. Yeah.
Nope, modern day.
It was modern day, I'm pretty sure. But also, I guess like this whole town doesn't fuck with her. Doesn't like her because of what happened.
Yeah. And I love that they make that such a huge thing that you notice.
Yeah.
Because then it makes the end make more sense.
Slightly. Yeah.
Slightly.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess the brain power going into this movie for either of us was different. I was expecting more Signs-esque, where it's like you don't really see shit until way later. And I feel like it takes away from an alien movie because I even feel like an alien, you don't see that creature for quite some time. It's usually just like moving about. Right? Or no, do you see it super early?
I feel like you don't see it super early, but you are aware that something is there.
Yeah, I don't mind you thinking that something's there, but to see the actual creature that early on just blows my mind. Because it kind of ruins the what's the word? Allure?
So you prefer if it was just feet and hands.
Yeah.
And just off in the distance.
Off in the distance,
kind of
type
like a
chasing
blurry
shit.
image.
Yeah. Like you're too scared to actually see it. Because you're freaking out about something being in your house.
Okay.
That's all.
This movie, to me, also built up a lot of suspense.
Poorly. Because with suspense, you shouldn't know exactly what you're dealing with quite yet. So for me, it ruined the suspense when in that so-called chase scene that you called it, when you start seeing so much of this alien creature from the get-go.
I mean, it's not a murder mystery. I mean, you gotta
but
at least
still,
have some
like
kind of
you
idea.
could have the lights, you could have the noises for a little bit longer before you actually get to see the monster, the alien itself. That's all I'm saying.
Does it change anything?
Yeah, it takes away from it for me because it's like, okay, there's no more guessing now. It's a fucking alien.
You knew it wasn't an alien going
You're
into
not
it.
sure.
If you pull the movie up, the
but
the first fucking
shouldn't-
image is the light of a UFO lifting her out of her house.
Yeah, but
you know it's an alien.
But if you compare that to like, what is it? What's that one? Strange Encounters of the Fourth Kind.
Third encounters,
Third Encounters of
first
the Fifth
encounters,
Kind. First Encounters
first
of the
encounters
Fifth
with
Kind.
third kind.
First Encounters of the Fourth Kind. Got it. Yeah, those movies build up more suspense than this. It's usually light play and then like crazy shit happening, and then maybe somebody gets into the sky.
Yeah, those are from 40 years ago.
Cool. There was a remake done.
Some of the originals.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. There was a remake that was done that was really light play, and you didn't get to see many monsters or aliens.
So you're telling me if this movie was exactly the same, but you saw the alien later in the movie,
I would have enjoyed it slightly more.
Okay.
That's all. We all have our preferences on alien movies.
I mean, yeah.
And if you're gonna give me an alien movie that seemed like it was pretty interesting, I need more anticipation than just outright knowing that that's what I'm dealing with. Also,
But you knew it was an alien.
of course you know it's an alien.
Okay.
But it should take a little bit longer for you to for sure find it out in the movie.
To see what
is
it
all I'm
looks
saying.
like?
Yeah.
But
Yes,
Okay.
to see what it looks like, but
Okay.
also just to know that that's exactly what you're dealing with as the character in the movie. As a watcher, you know this whole time that you're dealing with aliens. Like, that's without question based on the preview. But even if you see an alien in the preview, it should take longer for you to see it because it's like a buildup. I like
the
anticipation.
aliens aren't fucking around.
These ones were not fucking around.
There's no time to. This isn't paranormal activity where it takes time to build it up.
I like that, though.
We're here
I like that, though.
and it's go time.
I will say this, though, for all of the fans that maybe just wanted to listen to us talk about this movie. It's only like an hour and, 22 minutes long?
Yeah.
It's a short movie.
It is short.
It doesn't feel like it all the time, but
Which
it is a short
why
movie.
they get right into it. This isn't a 2-hour long fucking movie.
Okay. I will respect that. I will. I'll commend them for not wasting a bunch of our time because of the duration of the movie. But personally speaking, as an alien movie fan, I wish it would have been a little bit more suspense is all.
See, I'm not the biggest fan of alien movies. I enjoy
They're
them.
neither here nor there, yeah.
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 So the fact that this was like right into it, these are aliens. They're going after her. You don't know why. It never says why.
Yeah, no, there is no fucking explanation in
It's
this
just
movie at all.
happening. And what I love the most is the fact that when she has that first encounter, when she goes into town, even though she sees that one truck that's flipped over, she goes further into town. Everyone's still there.
Yeah. Yeah. Other
It's
than
not like a whole-
the mail truck flipped over
Yeah.
and the house that was kind of ran through, everything else was pretty status
It's
quo.
not like a whole invasion or anything. It takes
No.
time to build up that portion, which I thought was good.
Okay, fine. But we don't know exactly if that's the case based on what we found out slightly thereafter with the throat monsters.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
It is an interesting twist on an alien movie. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I will say that of most alien movies, it's usually like the human It's just like, well, you can really only think of like Alien because of the thing that pops out of the guy.
Yeah.
But I will say, when you look at a human being that looks like a human being of somebody that you know or that you've at least seen before,
Yeah.
and they're doing some weird shit, usually in alien movies, they're like extraterrestrial fans, if you will, or like people that are like intrigued by extraterrestrials or aliens that then start to like call or like group up near a UFO or anything like that. But what this movie does differently and kind of its own twist is you find out that if you look at their throats, they're almost being controlled, but you see that in the bus scene.
Yeah.
Which is where she thinks that she can. I think she was trying to hop town to talk to cops that'll listen to her. Because nobody liked her in this town because of her history, which you don't know yet.
Yeah.
But you can already get the vibe of them being like, I don't fuck with this little intricate little individual. This little, she's very, cute and quirky. And she's like, ooh, I have an idea. I'm going to put on a hat and some sunglasses and be able to take a bus trip out of here. I don't think he needs to dress in a disguise to hop on the Greyhound.
Probably not.
But she then gets on the bus and she's confronted by the mailman that she had seen earlier, and he is no longer the mailman because you hear the noises that she heard. But what's crazy in this movie, and I know I blew right fucking past this, but it's probably the earliest kill you ever get for an extraterrestrial in a movie of all time.
Oh, and she accidentally
killed the alien.
So
and you're not like expecting that at all.
No.
Because they're smarter than us. They have that, I hope I'm saying this right, telekinesis?
Yeah.
Where they can like control shit with their mind. So it's almost like if you like Star Wars or the Force, but they can like woof, or like move shit or like close shit or like push shit with just the move of their hand.
I think there's different levels.
There's like different levels, but they are like obviously an advanced creature. And what sucked is like some of the shit in this movie was corny, like the refrigerator doors opening and closing. I'm like, okay, cool. And it's like certain shit. I'm like, you guys are making it look too comical. Like, stop. Like, just make it more scary. Because it's like this movie had I feel like it had way more potential to be scary than it was. Because they went so whimsical with it. And maybe I'm alone in this, but that's how I feel.
So just the practical effects of the refrigerator opening and closing.
Yeah, it's a little much.
Okay.
Like, it's just too much, man. Like, why would he be doing that? Or be doing that?
To scare her.
Okay, I get that, but the lights flickering and fucking tables flipping is a little bit more scary than refrigerator doors opening and closing.
I mean, that's just a small part of it.
Also,
they weren't just doing the refrigerator.
Yeah, why do you have to hang up the phone? Did he not like the dial tone?
Yeah, it looked like in the reflection, he was like listening to something for a second.
Oh, fuck with this noise.
Then he hung it up and then saw her in the reflection. I love how he used the refrigerator door to trap her in there.
That part was smart.
That was smart.
I didn't like the flippy floppy that was going on earlier, but when he flips it open and she's behind it, and then he's able to get the drop on her, but then realize she kicks it, and then he is like, "Oh shit,"
Yeah, he didn't see that coming.
Which is amazing to me that you can be this advanced of an alien creature and not see that coming.
That's why I said a different look, because as the aliens go on, you see some have certain strengths and some don't.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this movie. It's not one type of alien.
No.
There's like little ones, there's like medium ones, and there's some XLs.
Yeah. So, but to me, something about this movie I enjoyed is it showed what aliens would actually do if they came here.
Okay.
So they're coming here to learn things.
Okay. You know what? I didn't even think about it that way because I was just not feeling it at all. But I like that because it does. It shows that they're like almost like studying us.
Yeah.
And then like learning from us. So it's not like their intent is to kill us right out the gate. But what led up to this first alien being killed was kind of crazy because he had the drop pretty much this entire time, where like he had already figured out her like style or like what she's doing,
and he didn't try to kill her.
He didn't try to kill her.
Yeah,
his intent was never to kill her.
Yeah, that's why when she swings with those scissors,
she didn't. It was with the church bells, but she didn't swing. So that's what's crazy. he spun her around with his telekinetic powers and didn't account for the fact that that thing's pointy.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh no. And because her arm just went straight, the way he spun her just equaled in a brain shot.
Yeah. You can see that when she does it, her face
She is
shocked.
like, oh shit. And then he's like, oh shit. It's like, both of them are sharing this intergalactical oh shit moment where it's like, I didn't mean for that to happen. He's like, I didn't fucking see this happen.
Yeah. But what's crazy is you see it later in the movie too. Another alien has to drop on her
Yeah.
and just waits.
Dude,
And it's
what's
just
crazy
standing
is
there.
like the medium-sized aliens seem to like vibe with her.
Yeah, those small ones.
The small
Those
ones
big
are just like fucking mean, and the big ones are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But what's crazy, the medium one like did that little pose down in the basement. And he's like, what are you going to do? You know, he's like,
Yeah.
I want to know. He's like, I want to see your next move. Because you've already grabbed scissors, took care of that. You've already grabbed this, took care of that. Like, what are you going to
Yeah.
do now?
So now what's next?
It's like, he's like, what do humans think?
Yeah.
Like, what is your process of elimination here? I have the drop on you, but I'm not going to advance. I'm going to sit in like a yoga pose.
Yeah. And
like,
wait for you and
it was
react
crazy.
to
They
that.
had like crazy, not advanced, but like super just like what's the word I'm looking for? Like basic ways of like talking with their arms and shit,
Yeah.
which was like really interesting to see because they're such an advanced creature.
Yeah.
When they're like giving arm and hand signs and then just like yelling out like the shit, you're like, so they're communicating not via radio like you would expect or like telekinesis, I
Yeah.
guess what it would be, where you can like talk brain to brain.
Yeah.
They show like arm signs and like yells and like different things, and you're like, oh, they all mean different shit.
Yeah, so
where
you-
it's like,
That's like, so you figure out the verbal is them talking to each other.
yeah,
The arms is them calling the ship.
the ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like if you look at people,
Yeah.
like we do that.
Yeah.
Like when you have airplane traffic controllers and shit on the ground that are like, you know, bringing planes in, they're using their arms.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a guy in a fucking building talking to them and being like, here's where you land.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And it's like little shit like that make this movie slightly interesting, I will say. Because it is an interesting take on it. On the, like you said, like, it almost seems like they don't, like, obviously they're here for a purpose. I'm not saying they're not here for a purpose. But they're learning. And I think they're intrigued by this girl. Because maybe they haven't ran into her yet.
Yeah. Because they send multiple different types
They
at
are,
her.
yeah, they're like, okay, she got one of us, which they found out because
Yeah.
they took them through the door with the blue lights and shit. But what's crazy is like different light colors mean like different shit.
Yeah.
It's like blue light is like vacuum, red
Yeah.
light's like pause,
Yeah.
and you're like, whoa. And then like yellow light's like searching maybe.
Yeah.
That part was cool.
The lights?
I loved the light
Yeah,
play. I
lights-
wish they would have
light was
done it
good.
a little bit more, but I feel like they did it properly. The only thing I'm pissed at is that I figured out what the alien looked like so early. And that's like not the best reason to not like a movie, but hey, here I sit.
Yeah.
You know? But it's crazy because, you know, the first alien looked shocked when he got stabbed in the head, just as shocked as she did.
Yeah.
And then she covers him up, respects him. And then obviously they're going to kind of know, I guess, because of where the, I guess like crop circles were.
Yeah.
And their crop circles were strictly from beams, you find out. The beams of light that take people to and fro, which is cool. But also you realize that these aliens are way more advanced than we even thought, which is what happens when they're under the control of the throat alien. Which is like, you know, you see the other people and they're like being used as vessels.
Yeah.
But when she gets it, you're in a complete trance and they use your past or like things about you to keep you there. So it'll be like if you miss a sibling that may have
Yeah.
passed away, or you miss a mom that passed away, or a grandmother that passed away, or just there's like a happy time period that you were thinking of.
Yeah.
Maybe they use that as like a heaven and it feels like you're in paradise.
Yeah. The only way they fucked up with her
Yeah.
was showing her friend as an adult.
Yep.
A point she never got to in life.
Never got to.
So she realized it, pulled it right out.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Well, how smart she is.
Yeah.
Crazy.
If they had thought
'Cause
just a little more
yeah.
about it.
I think they were rushed.
Yeah.
Because they were like, dude, this chick's kicking our asses.
Yeah, and it wouldn't make sense.
She's already got 2 of us.
I'm an adult. You're a kid still.
3. She got 3.
Yeah, she's fucking them up.
She's fucking them up. All sizes.
All her tools.
Yeah, she had tools. She had a medium, an XL, and a small already taken care of.
She did good.
And you're like, damn, dude, this chick's got the aliens figured out, but not her personal life.
Yeah, but I think by having the throat thing in her, it allowed them to see her thoughts, see what plagued her the most,
which is her friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, knowing how different people in the town interacted and observed her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for them seeing her constant struggle all the time, then also seeing her will to live was so strong.
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, we can take over this entire town, or we take care of everybody except for her.
Yeah.
And give her
peace.
Which is sound crazy, and give her the life she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's crazy is I didn't think about this until after I'd watched the movie, but in the description of the movie it says an alienated girl.
Yeah. That's good.
That's like, if I would have just read that before, I probably would have enjoyed this movie a lot more. So basically what I got from this movie is they realized, basically, this is out of context here.
Yeah.
She's one of us.
Yeah.
She's not like the rest of them because they saw, which when you realize when she gets pulled up into the ship, when they all put their fingers in there and they start seeing what happened, they're like, oh shit, this girl's been through some shit.
Yeah.
Like that girl was bullying her and she just as a kid reacted with a rock. Unfortunately, it was too hard and too heavy. So to me, the aliens chose an alienated girl.
Yeah.
And that's never been done before.
No.
Never.
It's like,
usually it's like hero versus like epic hero versus alien, and then they kind of win via circumstance.
Yeah, it's like
she didn't win.
No.
She lost.
She did.
Because her town was controlled.
Yeah.
But she realized, being that she was so alienated from humans, she didn't give a fuck because they were all nice to her. They waved back. And it's as simple as that for her.
And they just controlled everyone to be her friend.
To be her friend.
And forgive her.
Because they were like, we're not going to beat this chick. We've stabbed her. We've fucked her up.
Yeah.
We've used every memory we can think of against this girl.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. She's one of the most resilient final girls of all time.
So when they had her and it looked like they looked up to the ship, it looked like the ship was telling them, let her go.
Yeah.
Cut her loose.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So they cut her loose, and then, it's ultimately a story of forgiveness.
When she goes up against herself, though, that was intense.
That was intense.
Because herself stabbed her. And then she killed herself.
Yeah. So then my thought process was, are these all like doubles of people?
So what you realize is, so when she pulls out the throat monster and then it returns to the ship, that's what created the clones.
Yeah.
Which you're like, all these other people are just controlled by the throat.
But they have it in the throat still.
Yeah, they have like the DNA.
Yeah.
But they were just like, here's how we're going to get her. We're going to use her against her.
Yeah.
And create a her.
And she was like, no.
Yeah, I ain't going to work against
this. Ain't working either.
This ain't working either. I've done blowed up my Subaru. You're not going to get me.
But what I did love also, as you see later, right before then, when she gets sucked, or after when she gets sucked up into the thing.
Yeah.
Is that she also didn't know what the hand signals and shit meant. So when she sees that huge one is just standing there making hand signals and not moving.
Yeah.
They called the shit above her, sucked her up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, we're tired of fucking around with her now.
Yeah, we're done. And it's fucking
grab her
like quick too.
Do what we're gonna do.
That was the XL monster too. That was the XL alien too. He's like, you killed my cousin. I'm gonna get your ass. Which, for an hour and 20 minutes, I think it's an hour and 22 minutes to be exact. It's your episode's gonna be slightly shorter on it. But I feel like after talking with you, I may have enjoyed the movie more than I thought.
Good.
So thank you for that. When I watched it last night, I was pretty upset. It just wasn't what I was expecting, I guess. The preview slightly tricked me. I guess the preview showed me more than I wanted to, and I guess that's my own fault for watching a preview late, because that does happen to the best of us. But let's say this before you rank the movie itself. How do you feel like this particular alien movie ranks in alien horror world? Like, how do you feel it does it fall in its own? Does it stand up to some of the big boys? Like, what do you think, man?
I think it
like,
just falls in its own.
It's on its own little category. It's not.
I don't think it's something
superb.
You would compare to like Alien.
It's not going to knock off Alien or Signs or anything like that.
No, it's just something. I think putting that twist on it to where it comes to it's just a view of how humanity is with people who they feel have done something wrong.
Yeah.
That puts it in its own category.
Yeah.
It's
almost like a weak ending.
Yeah. If it was more like straightforward,
they just wiped out the entire town.
Totally different. Yeah. But I think putting that hidden message, or not hidden, but putting that message behind it, kind of takes it from being included with those other types of alien movies.
No, I fundamentally agree with you on that. Yeah. Which is crazy because originally I was like, this is top tier dog shit. And then
I'm sure I
just had to talk to you for a little bit and get some perspective on it. So I do think it was good. It's crazy. Any age group can watch this movie. This isn't one of those like super gory or super crazy, super jump scares. I mean, you get a little, like you said earlier, suspense is built in this movie. Any alien movie is going to have a good amount of suspense, but I won't say it's anything out of a comfort zone that most people can handle.
Yeah.
So now talking to you, I enjoyed it more than I thought.
Good. One other thing I do enjoy about this movie is the lack of dialogue.
Yeah, there's not a lot of shit going on in this movie.
I love that because you have to.
I would say there's like 20 fucking words spoken in this movie.
You have to pay attention.
You have to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Because there's no, like subtitles don't help.
Yeah, because if you look away and you're doing something,
you're gonna miss a chunk of the movie.
But they're not talking at all. It's just her breathing and gasping.
Holy shit! Yeah, you're right. There's like no.
There's not a single point in this movie where she verbally says something to somebody else.
Holy shit!
It's either her writing or making noises.
Yeah, dude.
So when she walks up to the parents, you think she's gonna talk. Nothing.
Holy shit! I didn't even think about that, dude.
Every scene is.
You watched this movie with such wide open eyes.
I did. It's just her using her face and what's around her.
Yeah.
No dialogue at all.
Yeah, which makes a movie very good. It's tricky, you know?
Yeah.
To pull off a movie with minimal dialogue that actually keeps you intrigued.
Very true, yeah.
Because you want to care for certain people, but you have to figure out, the reasoning behind it. And usually it's a lot of wasted time and energy, which we've talked about a plethora of times on this podcast. All right. Damn, that's an interesting fact. That's an interesting tidbit there. I like that. I didn't even think about it, dude. You watched this movie as you had a podcast. I watched this as just I'm watching an alien movie. I feel like I let the podcast down with this one, but you killed it. All right. So obviously we're going to start with you, but on a scale from 1 to 10, what do you rate this movie?
On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say it's a 7.
Wow.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
That's insane.
What about you?
Before talking to you in the episode, I said a 2.
Damn.
That's what I was thinking.
A 2?
Yes. But for the first time ever since we started this podcast, I'm going to take what I learned here with Jake into account, and I'm going to give it a 6.
Look at that.
I'm going to give it a 6. There were parts of it that maybe I didn't understand because of I was watching it late last night or what have you. But you brought some really, really, really deep and meaningful points into this movie that I didn't anticipate. And I thought we were both just going to be like, it was good, it was bad, fuck you. That's how this episode was going to go. But it took a different path because this is an unscripted podcast and we kind of just sit here as best friends who like horror movies. I enjoyed it to an extent, but after talking to you, I feel like if I rewatched it, I would enjoy it a whole hell of a lot more.
Nice.
So that's the first ever that this has happened on the podcast.
Look at that.
Where you've actually like completely changed my dynamic or like my viewership of a movie. And I appreciate that. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, that is.
It's good. It's short. It's to the point, and I should have respected it more for the things that it did versus the things that it didn't do. And for that, I apologize to myself. Not to you guys. Fuck you guys. I apologize to myself for not enjoying it for what it was and expecting something else. Yeah, you know what? That's what I'll say. I was expecting something else, but I should have just watched it for what it was.
Yeah.
And that's a problem with a lot of shit. And you should just pause, watch what watch what it is and enjoy it. Because I went in there with, signs and fucking all these expectations of like some of the best alien type movies. And you're not always going to get that because it's been done already. So this is a completely new take on an alien movie, and I should have appreciated that.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect a Hulu original to be
cream
of the crop. So.
Yeah, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. You're cracking above 5 for the J Squared Horror Podcast both ways. You're doing pretty good in life. I will say that. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. Sorry we missed you guys for so long. It has been a week. But we told you guys last time, it's not like you were unaware. We had a lot going on. So we're stoked to be back. We have some milestones coming up that we're pretty excited about. So hopefully those happen in due time. Next week, did we decide what we're going to be covering?
I think we talked about it for like 2 seconds.
But then we forgot.
Then you forgot.
What are you thinking? I'll put you on the spot.
I would say, let's kick it back old school a little bit here and do Rosemary's Baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be covering 19-somethings. Rosemary's Baby. This is a fan-requested episode. This one was kind of a fan-requested episode, so this one was mentioned to me by some guys over at a local restaurant called... what's it called? I deliver there for my job. It's... I don't know. I can't think of it right now. But you guys know who you are.
Very disappointed you don't remember that.
Oh, fuck. What is it? It's
You should have left that fan request.
It's a. I talk to these guys every other Thursday about the podcast.
This making it worse.
Yeah, it is. I can't think of the name of it. It is Butcher Son Chesapeake. So you guys over there, the cook and the other guy. Yeah. Thank you for requesting this. I'm pretty sure you guys requested it. If not, I'm going to sound like a complete idiot here. But we've seen it before on Hulu, so I'm excited to cover it. But yes, next week is a fan requested by Mr. CII Jones himself. If you guys go back in the analogs of J Squared Horror, we did an episode with him. He's a local horror author, but he did request Rosemary's Baby, and then another guy requested it too, right? Wasn't that other guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
Is CI coming back for next episode?
I don't know if we're going to bring him on for Rosemary's Baby or not.
Okay.
I mean, it would be cool to. But also, Mr. Ben Johnson requested Rosemary's Baby from 1968. I said 80. 1968. So big shout out to you guys for requesting episodes. If you want to request an episode, make sure to go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com or go to our Instagram, jsquaredhorrorpodcast. All of our information's on there. Let's see.
Or just work at a restaurant.
Or just talk to me outside of this, and I'll forget who you are. Don't forget our homie over at Fantasy Realms Art, Patrick Rasmussen, does some amazing work over there. Make sure to go check out his website. That is fantasyrealms.com. He does some amazing horror prints and other original prints with his airbrush artwork. We handed out some trivia prizes of his, and it's super cool. We met him at the Tidewater Horror Convention, so make sure to go check him out. Big shout out to all of our main supporters, Jeff Balance, who does our design work, Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music. A humongous shout out to Jake, the world's greatest co-host a guy could ask for, who's falling asleep on the mic as we speak.
Thank you.
Big shout out to all of you fans. We found out some stuff tonight that we are absolutely mind blown. We are creeping up on 10,000 views on YouTube, which is an insane number. Yeah, so thank you to all of our YouTube supporters, all of you listeners out there. We see you guys too. We're creeping up on like 2,200, I think, which is still amazing. We wouldn't be a podcast without each and every single one of you. So to all of the J Squared Horror Podcast fans, a humongous thank you for supporting us.
Thank you.
Almost going on 3 years of content creation. We just went through some old videos. So thank you guys so much for sticking it out through all of our different changes and all of the different ways we've been on the mics.
Yikes.
You guys are amazing. Humongous round of applause to every single one of our fans out there. This is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great week. And remember, it's hip to be squared.